Hey everyone, Kabi here. If you're clicking on this video, you're probably interested in a map called Helm's Deep Reborn on the Steam Workshop. There's a video by JAiZ kind of describing a lot of the controversy surrounding this map, and I think it's a great video and everybody should check it out, so if you haven't already, please go ahead and do so. In this video, JAiZ claims that you can do this map quite easily with 2 human survivors. Now this was news to me because when I tried to do the map back in the day with my friends, I wasn't even able to do it with 3 friends, so 4 human players. It was impossible for us. So going online and doing it with randoms who were actually competent and knew the map a little bit, I can say with certainty that it's possible to do it with only 2 human players. But the next question invariably is it possible to do solo? Now I wasn't able to find anybody who could actually do this online, so I decided why not try doing it myself. Disclaimer here, the original Steam Workshop map by Serious Samurai is no longer on the workshop, so the version of the map I'll be using is Helm's Deep Fixed by JAiZ, the author of the video that I mentioned earlier. I will put timestamps in the description, so if you're only stuck on a certain part of the map, please refer to the description and you can jump directly to whatever timestamp is most useful for you. Right off the bat, take the auto shotgun and the magnum. I suggest taking Coach or Ellis as your survivor because the other AI survivors will not take the auto shotgun from you if you do happen to drop it at any point, which you will end up doing throughout this playthrough. So you start the map by going to the door and holding E. Once you do that, you'll be teleported to the first part of the map, which I like to call the wall. Once you spawn into the wall, head left immediately and then go straight. To your right, you should see an auto sniper, which you should take. Be careful that your auto shotgun does not fall off the ledge of the wall, however. You will need it for later. Then head back to where these 2 gas cans are and throw them off the side of the wall. You'll see why in a minute. Now your only job is to hold the top of the wall from the right side. Why the right side? Because the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors are there, and by drawing the zombies to the right side, you're helping them help you. And really your only job here is to use the auto sniper to its full potential by taking out all the special infected you can and making sure zombies don't get up the wall on the left side. I think the special infected really like coming up the left side, so really keep an eye on that side of the map. At 3:30, you're really going to have to think about getting your auto shotty back because the middle of the wall is about to explode and you'll have to retreat. So that's exactly what I do here. When you take your auto shotty back, also make sure to pick up a molly. If your survivors get stuck on the other side of the wall like they do here, it's not immediately a game over. If you try to rescue them, you might actually be able to do it like I do in this playthrough. In this stage of the map, your survivors or you losing health is not a game changer. There are so many pills available, there's so many health kits available that you can use them to any extent and still be okay. Okay, so assuming that it's 4 minutes, your goal is to just hold this area right behind the wall. You'll notice that the most obvious choke point is the hole that's just been created in the wall. Your goal is to keep that area on fire by using the mollies, gas cans, and the fireworks that are available to you over there. One thing you should take note of is the big pile of pills to the right. Make sure you're constantly throwing those to your survivors if they've already used their pills. At 7 minutes, you're going to have to retreat to this area of the map I like to call the staircase. You should be able to take a gas can with you and a molly. Don't worry too much if you aren't able to do this, however, it's not essential. You'll only have to hold these stairs until 9 minutes, in which you'll be forced to retreat. There's a spare health kit and pills in the hallway that you retreat to. Now to hold this area, it's important to recognize that there's only 2 paths that the zombies can take to you. One is the staircase, which is obvious, but the other is the rocks on the right. Also feel free to use your molly. I like to save the gas can for the next part. There's also 2 M60s behind you, so you can use both of those to try and combat the tanks that will be coming up. At 8 minutes and 30 seconds, start thinking about retreating through the hallway. At 9 minutes, you're going to be able to jump the fire barrier and enter the next stage of the map. Once you're through, if you have a health kit on you, just go ahead and use it on yourself or one of your survivors. If you still have your gas can, go ahead and take it to this door. You'll also want to take these gas cans and put them near the door too. These will be useful for later. Once you're done gathering all the gas cans that you can at that door, go ahead and take this route to the outer level of the castle. At this point, throw all the gas cans down to the lower level. Make sure you pick up a molly as well. The idea is to do the same thing we were doing in the first part of the map on the wall, except at a new choke point. There should be 5 gas cans up here for you to throw down and take to the door. Once you get to the door, go ahead and start using your magnum to just spam down the ramp. If the infected get too close, you can use your auto shotgun, the mollies, or the gas cans. Just with the gas cans, make sure that you're throwing them through the hole in the door so that you don't end up setting all of your survivors and yourself on fire as well. Again, it's the same as the first part of the map. You really want to focus down the special infected, except this time there are no tanks to deal with. All you really need to do is make sure that they don't get too close to the door. At around 14 minutes, the door will break on its own. If it breaks before this, I recommend restarting the run because it's very hard to hold the wall otherwise. Once the door breaks, your goal is to get to where you stored those gas cans earlier as fast as possible. You will need to hold here for a little bit until 15 minutes. Make sure to help your AI survivors deal with any tanks because by now they have probably run out of ammo and are just using their pistols. At 15 minutes, the door will break and a witch will spawn right in front of you. If you have an auto shotgun, you know what to do. Then your goal is to bring both the gas cans and your survivors in as fast as possible. Now I'm going to take an intermission here from the main walkthrough and explain why I always got stuck at some point between this part and 25 minutes. Like I explained, your AI survivors no longer have any guns. They are simply using either their pistols or the magnum, which is not a lot of damage output. Leading the survivor AI to ammo piles or delivering the weapons straight to their feet also does not work. They refuse to pick up any weapons of any kind. At 20 minutes, the armory is sealed off to you, so you no longer have access to most of your fire supplies. You're supposed to retreat into this upper area, which I found really hard to hold and really frustrating because when double tanks come, it's just simply too cramped to really fight against them effectively, especially when your survivors have only pistols to deal with them. I feel as if a better player or someone who's better at Left 4 Dead 2 could definitely do this, but for me I simply wasn't, so I just got frustrated over and over again. Fortunately, this guide is for trash players like me and maybe even you if you clicked on this video. So here's the feature, I guess, or maybe the exploit you could call it, that I used to beat this map. When you open the door to start the map, actually in the chat there's a lot of commands that come up, which I didn't notice at all for my first 20 times of trying to beat this solo. Most of them simply give you the map's custom melee weapons, which are pretty cool, but there's 4 that are really useful. They're exclamation marks and the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors' names. If you experiment with these, you'll find that if you type these commands into the chat box, like if you're trying to communicate to your human players, they actually end up teleporting the Left 4 Dead 1 survivor, the bot, to you. Note that you don't have to turn SV cheats on, you don't have to enable a plugin or get a mod or anything like that. It's literally something that was built into this map and for this map only. When I figured out that these commands existed, I decided I would abuse them to their full potential to try and finally complete the map solo, which I had been trying to do for many hours now. I made it even easier for myself by binding a key for each of these commands. So for example, if I wanted Lewis to come, I just press one key and then Lewis would teleport to where I am without me having to type it all in chat. I will put the relevant console commands in the description. Just stick them into your autoexec.cfg file and they should work straight out of the box. Note that they will not work on any other map except for this one, as this was a system designed specifically for completing this map, I assume, by the creator. Okay, so let's get back to the main playthrough. You're able to get your bots and your gas cans through the door into the keep. Now, the first thing I like to do is throw a molly if I have one, or go get one from the armory to throw into the door. This doorway will be our new choke point, which we want to constantly have on fire if possible. There are several Molotovs, and if you have gas cans and don't blow them all up like I did in this playthrough, you should have plenty of fire to keep that doorway on fire. Although your Left 4 Dead 2 survivors are pretty much useless, you can now teleport your Left 4 Dead 1 survivors to help you out during this part of the map. If they get stuck on the back corner of the map, which the Left 4 Dead 1 bots tend to do, you can always teleport them back to wherever you need them. When you're in the armory, feel free to pick up an AK with a laser sight or whatever weapon you want to hold out during this stage. Pick up a melee weapon if you can as well, it'll be really useful when the common infected get close. Again, there will be several tanks, make sure you're making full use of all the Molotovs in the armory. Also, there are health packs available near the doorway. There are 2 on the hay bales next to the doorway and 2 in the doorway itself. If the doorway is on fire and there aren't any tanks that are right there, you can try and go for one of these health packs and heal one of your teammate bots. At 20 minutes, the armory will be blocked off and you'll be expected to retreat upstairs. You don't have to do this immediately, but try to do it as soon as possible. Once you've shepherded your Left 4 Dead 2 bots up the stairs, feel free to teleport the rest of the bots up to where you are. With the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors in play, it's actually a lot easier to hold onto this part of the map. In the room behind you, there is an ammo pile and some pipe bombs, but the ammo pile will despawn after a while, so don't rely on it being there. More importantly, in the next room over, there's a table with several pills on it. Feel free to use these and hand these to your Left 4 Dead 2 survivors as well. Also, there's some explosive rounds. Try to deploy these whenever you have a little bit of time and use them with the M60 that's behind you. There's a fire barrel at the bottom of the stairs you can set off. There's also a fireworks canister available to you. I like to hold the top of the staircase as long as possible, and if any tanks come up, just fall back and try to hold as long as you can. You can play Ring Around the Rosie in some of the larger rooms. At 25 minutes, the door behind you will open and you'll need to go all the way to the top. You're gonna need to wait a while for your Left 4 Dead 2 AI survivors to follow you because they are kind of bad at climbing stairs. After a while, you'll be teleported back to the armory. You can use this time to heal yourself and your teammates. If you didn't pick up a melee weapon, be sure to do so now. You'll be teleported to the keep, where the door will eventually open and you're expected to just charge forward, which you should. Once the door opens, your only goal is to move forward and keep slashing. If you alternate shoving and slashing, it should be no problem for you to get to the door that you were holding earlier. Now all you need to do is head down the ramp. Your AI teammates will get stuck at the door, but don't worry about it, just keep going. Your goal is to get to the bottom of the ramp and then head right immediately to hit the trigger area. Once you hit this, all the tanks and common infected will die. You'll be teleported to Gandalf and so will your AI teammates. After this, there really isn't anything that's challenging. Just don't make any stupid mistakes and you should be fine from here on out. Head to the top of the wall where you were holding for the first part, and note that there's 2 boomer bile jars if you haven't used them already. Soon, the common infected, the special infected, and the tanks will all be coming for you. Don't worry about this too much, just use all the items that you have there at your disposal. Then, with your AI teammates, retreat as far back as you can. Eventually, Gandalf will summon all the common infected to him, so all you really need to worry about are the special infected and the tanks. Just use your common sense, try to protect your bots, but don't die in the process. It should be pretty easy for you to make it to the final minute. After the timer hits 30 minutes, all your enemies will drop dead and you've pretty much beaten the map. There is some cool text that shows up in the chat log, so you can go ahead and read that, but other than that and the fireworks, there's really nothing much else to do. That's really it for the walkthrough. There's not much else I think I can explain. If there's something wrong with the strategy or if there's something you don't understand, go ahead and leave a comment. I'll be sure to reply as soon as possible. While I was researching this map and kind of the strategies to try and beat it, I found a lot of interesting things on the history and kind of the situation surrounding it, so I might make a separate video on that. We'll see. That's it for this video. There should be more videos coming soon, and I hope you have a good one.